everybody, it's Cristin Harber, and I am trying to use my phone on a different way. So maybe I'm going to be sideways when you see this. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe it'll work. But I just dropped my youngest off at school, and I'm driving to a red light. Okay, so today's question, I've heard before, but I appreciate Olivia asking it so that I would remember to make this video. The question is, how did I find my crit partners, my critique partners, and how do we come about, how do we find each other in the big world of romance writing? And it's kind of, I think it's an interesting story, but we, my little solid crew of the writers that I first started writing with include J.B. Salisbury, Claudia Connor, Sharon K, Raquel Reck, and that's pretty much there were other people, but we all started together, and we all started before we were ever published, way before we were ever published. And I can just tell you how I ended up where we met. I had been writing romance for, a little bit. I'd written other genres beforehand, but it was romance that I decided to really pursue professionally. And as I was pitching New York publishers, and still thinking that I was interested in going the traditional route, I was looking for places to bounce my manuscript off people, bounce query letters off of people, and see what they thought. I hadn't had honest feedback. The only person who'd really read any of my stuff was my ex-husband, and he was seems okay to me. He had no idea. He tried, but that wasn't his type of fiction. Actually, I don't even think he read fiction. I think it was all non-fiction type things. So he was really out of his element. So anyway, I tried a couple different websites, and a couple of them kept going defunct, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I ever gonna learn? You take classes and you go to places, but you don't ever get that real feedback. And I was like, this person is not using a crosswalk. I hate that. Okay. All right. Sorry, driving through the metro stops, or just, especially in the morning. It's not really, I guess kind of rush hour right now, but nobody really cares. They just want to get on their train. Okay, so what was I saying? So I tried a couple different websites, and some I would look at the terms of conditions. Always look at the terms of conditions. Terms of service conditions, the TOS or the TOCs or however they label them. Look at them, because a couple of them said yeah, sure, you're allowed to post your stuff up here, but we get some rights. I was like, I don't think that is right. So I moved along, and but I finally found one that I liked called Critique Circle, critiquecircle.com, and it was where people like me and other genres were posting their work or their chapters and getting line-by-line feedback. I think that doing that was a better instructor of writing and craft than any class I ever took. It was raw, it was rough, it was sometimes brutal. It was sometimes also BS, because anybody can go on there and, comment as to what they think. They can give you a critique. So you kind of learn to see people that are just automatically like, okay, this person hates romance, so I don't know that I'm going to take everything they say to heart. Or you would find somebody who was really into the story and pointing out flaws and holes in the story or sentence structure or word repetition that was off, but like they were really into the story. So you start out on Critique Circle on something called a newbie queue, like a queue of documents and you're new. So you have to do that for a certain amount of time before you can move to different queues where you could submit your work. And I'm pretty sure it was divided by genre. So I was in the romance queue. And in order to get critiques, you have to give critiques. And I wanted to do a couple things. One, I wanted to spend my time doing stories that I enjoyed. And then I also wanted to not waste my time. Like there were some times that like you could just tell that I don't know how to say this. Sometimes you could just tell if somebody tried. If they didn't try, they put it up there and it's not to say it has nothing to do with like professionalism or like level of talent or craft. I don't know why they would. Anyway, that's not the point of this. The point of this is that I found a couple stories and a couple like voices, the authors and style that they write in, it kind of has a voice. So I found a couple voices and styles that I really enjoyed. And I noticed that they were also very good at giving feedback and very honest, and everybody kind of had their own specialty. Like Sharon Kay knows grammar better than I think some editors I know. She is fantastic, and her vocabulary and her knowledge of sentence structure and punctuation and things like that, I mean, just can really get in the weeds. She taught me so much. And J.B. Salisbury was so fantastic at like feeling the story. She would be able to read something and just know if it needed more emotion, or she'd just tell you if she was bored. And like that's like one of the best things that a crit partner can do is pass along like, I skipped these 2 pages, or I wanted to skip these 2 pages because like my brain was melting from boredom, or you know, like I didn't understand this paragraph, or like I'm not feeling it, or anyway, that was like what she was really good at. Raquel asked just a ton of questions. She just had questions, and they were fantastic questions because you'd make you think like, okay, maybe that should happen, or maybe I didn't want that to happen, or why is she thinking that based on what I wrote? So that was really what she did. She just had a fantastic ability to make me think. And then Claudia Connor. Let me just say that Claudia knows, oh, thank you. Appreciate it. She knows personality types. She knows people, and she knows kids. Her background has led her to basically be a a professional dialogue critiquer. Like she can look at something and be like, no, a 5-year-old wouldn't say that. No, like, there's no way in the world that this conversation would happen between, like, a mother and a daughter, or two kids wouldn't talk like that on the playground. So that was what she brought to the table. That she was a fantastic, like, overall story partner. I think her background was primarily, like, reading traditional contemporary romance, and I didn't write that at all. But her same thought processes would work. I mean, she would just be like, you need a darker dark moment. You need, like, the second act of this book needs to have more of, like, a up, down, up, and then, like, this is where you need to build emotion. And then sometimes she would just tell me, like, I don't understand. You're using jargon that's way, way far beyond me. And I appreciated that, because what I realized was that a lot of the things that I say on a regular basis, and, like, that my family says, aren't normal. Like, I recall, I don't know, what's an example? Move boots. I hear move boots all the time. Sometimes people are like, what's move boots? And I'm like, how do you not know what move boots is? I don't know. This is where Sharon would be helpful. Because, like, I think that since I was, like, a itty bitty baby, somebody in my family was going, let's go, move boots, let's go. Maybe it's a military thing. Maybe it's just, like, a my family thing. Who knows? What's another one? Trying to think. Oh well, it'll come to me. But gosh, I get so many of them that it just cracks me up. Oh, there's a bad word. That's not really a bad word. See, it wasn't a bad word in my house. It was just, like, another way to call somebody a jerk. But like, earmuffs for any kids, or mute me for a second. I'll wave my hands when it's okay to come back. But you know the word dickhead? Like, I can recall my dad using that constantly about people in traffic. Like, what a dickhead. But never, I didn't learn until very late in life that not everybody used that word. My characters do. I think it's, like, a very, maybe just a very military thing. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. But, and if you think about it, that's such a gross word. But, okay, hands, you can come back if you were ignoring me. Come on back. But yeah, so, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm sitting at home in my driveway, and I'm going to go in and work on some things, but thanks for the question, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye!